personally, I think all this this magic stuff, he says, start just monologuing to everyone, basically. He's kind of, he's just espousing a view, like assuming everyone's going to listen and agree with him because he's holding court, but he's not specifically talking to anyone. He's like, I think it's all nonsense. I think people are just scared. I think that's what it is. They're just scared. So we're going to have to go out there and do all the hard work. And what are we going to get for it? Probably nothing. I mean, it's all nonsense, isn't it? He sort of says, like, it's just carrying on, just being like, well, if they're not going to talk, I will. It's like,
you saw the guy earlier. He got exploded by magic gone wrong.
Oh, please. He's probably just bad at his job. Look, it's fine. Magic. He conjures a flame on his finger.
Whoa.
It's absolutely fine. I could do this all day. You see, just goes like...
Is everyone sort of backing away?
I certainly am.
He goes, and his wrist just snaps back on itself, and he screams. You hear this, Cressida. BT
Take
does.
off the cucumbers from my eyes. Please.
Inspiration. Unfortunately for this guy, he is undergoing a dreadful, awful, very snappy, poppy transformation. He sort of screams, and then his screams get sort of lower and more distorted, and he goes like... And kind of, if you imagine his hips and his shoulders kind of like go back.
Oh.
So he's kind of like doing a nightmarish bridge, but his feet have turned round, as have his hands. And his torso just crashes open, and this torrent of flesh. It's like the bits of him inside have been remolded and made to form this enormous, it's like a head, but there's no features, just on sort of, you see bones sticking out and bits of spine. It's just on this neck, and it seems to sort of look around. And then he starts skittering across the floor towards the four of you specifically, and I'd like you to roll initiative.
Here we go. I'd like to go outside.
Yeah.
I have this thing called Speech of Beast and Leaf, which is a furbolg species trait.
Great.
It's not quite like speak with animals or anything like that, but I have an ability to communicate in a limited manner with beasts and plants. They can understand the meaning of my words, though I have no special ability to understand them in return.
Got it.
I have advantage on all charisma checks I make to influence them. I'd like to go to the Holt Ben.
Yeah.
I assume there are some of them in these sort of vegetable patches and stuff, hanging out in the little bramble area as a home. I'd like to go and ask them to show me what this town's secret is. Say to them, there is a secret here. This is strange. Please show me what that is. And they should be able to understand me. I probably have to do a charisma check, but I have advantage on it.
Okie dokie.
So I would like to see if they can lead me to something interesting.
Okay. How to put this? You go to
the bramble patch.
The bramble patch of the Holt Bends. And this isn't your first time speaking to Holt Bends. You know the way to gently peel back the upper layer.
Yeah.
And so you can address them. You put your hand in sort of the accustomed place, and it doesn't feel right. Instead of, it feels like someone's already been in here.
Right.
And they've gone in quite rudely. It doesn't peel back. It's like lifting the lid on a broken chest.
Right.
And you look in, and Holt Bends are kind of like, they're almost like tiny satyrs.
Right.
And there are 3 of them, and they have all been slain. They are decomposing. You are not a Holt Ben forensic scientist by any stretch of the imagination, but you would...
But they dead. That's a different character.
You would suspect they've been dead for some time.
For some time, okay. All right. So a pact has been broken here by someone or other.
Is it unreasonable of me to assume you might turn round?
Oh, yeah, go on.
You turn round, and face to face, like an inch away from you, is a very large, sort of burly-looking villager who immediately grips you around the back of the neck and is going to try and grapple you.
Oh!
That is a 17. I need you to make me either a Dex Acrobatics check or a Strength Athletics check.
Oh, my best ones. That's a critical one.
You
Praise Cadence.
Yeah,
Grappled.
Halfender's just like, ooh.
Yeah.
you try reflexively, you sort of grab out, but you his strength is really quite prodigious, and you see he just sort of moves his hand towards you, and as his hand nears your mouth, you see the skin there just split, and a small white round thing just closes over your mouth, and you feel it roll in from his palm, and then, you know, like in time-lapse photography when you see a seed sprout,
Oh.
you feel that, and this little tendril just along your tongue just drags the seed down and down your throat, and reflexively you swallow.
No.
And this guy just releases you.
I punch him.
Great, yeah, fine. Make me that attack. This coach is still very, very muddy. It's very dirty. You're still, you know, that's uncomfortably clear to you. The axle, you can see even caked in mud, looks weird. It's kind of segmented, and each segment of this axle that's kind of spreading up and, you know, out to the wheels appears to be a vertebrae. The wheels look odd too, sort of the spokes. Like, have you ever seen a femur?
I'm sure my traps in the vaults have broken a few, but never seen one myself.
Okay, well, that's what you notice anyway. Everyone else is kind of just busy making camp.
I'm laying hands on Ryan. And
Doesn't sound like you're hitting me.
No, on the scorch marks
Throwing
from the
hands
radiant, from all the radiant damage.
Oh no!
And
Can
yeah,
fix this.
you're healed for 20 hit points.
20.
Hey.
That's great. Thank you.
Apologising profusely.
Yeah, I think where you're like trying to hold a wet cake together. Like,
yeah. Just patting the scorch marks
Thanks.
off the armour. Yeah.
What is it, Chris?
Is it not a yurt? Is this the
Oh, this is certainly not a yet. Look, I've come across some weird things in my studies and such. A lot of seen some bones and.
The sun continues to
Does
go
that
down.
look?
That's nice.
I might.
So for dinner, what does everyone fancy?
bones? What bones?
Just please. I think the wheels are bones.
oh yeah, these wheels are
Oh
made
my
of.
god!
Wait.
Oh,
Were these wheels? Did they look like they were made of bones earlier?
well, covered in
Before we
mud,
start?
weren't they? It's kind of
Well,
shaken up.
But it was
Where
off-white.
Where I cleaned off, it was off-white.
It was an
I
off-white
thought-
cart, which is a weird colour for a cart now.
Can we brush some of this mud
just-
off and see what we're working with here? Like,
Yeah.
Well, you can. I
We'll
won't.
start scrubbing away some of the dirt.
just scratching away, see if there's anything, like any evidence on the side of the cart, what it might have been.
Bones
Yeah.
are a perfectly valuable resource.
You,
Sturdy and strong and widely available.
yeah, like you start sort of cleaning the mud off, and sure enough, yeah, like, sort of like, oh, that's bone, and that seems to be bone. This whole thing appears to be made entirely out of bone.
What bones are the wheels made out of?
Circle bones.
It's like someone has managed to
Circle bones.
shape,
We've got a bone like
shape
that in us.
bone.
One of the ones in the ear, maybe.
Things start pinging off in your little furball head.
Mm-hmm.
You remembered, you did clock earlier, you were like, gabble ratchets. Like, oh yeah, they can be strays, or they can be sort of part of hunting parties. They can be sort of in service to others.
Right.
And you have a growing suspicion that this is something called a coachebauer,
Right.
which is sort of like the bone coach of, there's no easy way to say, well, there is an easy way to say sort of like headless, vengeful horseman
Got it.
leading hunts and coming after anyone who wrongs them. The easy way to say it is Dullahan.
Right.
it occurs to you that all of you are in
Great peril.
so much trouble.
Right.
Like, so much trouble. I'm going to say you are crawling into this space when a hound reaches you. What's your AC again, please?
Only 12. I need to buy myself some armor.
I got an 11 total. So, like, literally your foot disappears into the bracken and
Snapping.
these jaws snap shut. And the hounds are now just like clawing and digging and snarling at this hole that you all went into. You can sort of see, looking back, you can see them like scrabbling, desperate to get in but unable to pass the barrier. And then there is this almighty whoosh noise, and you see there's basically the Dullahan is still mounted but has a whip that is just made of spine, and is like lashing the dogs back. They all fall back into line, and they're kind of just like circling and nipping at each other, and they're restless because they've got the scent on them and they're being stopped. All of you are sort of retreating. You're emerging into the clearing now, sort of standing there. The brambles have coalesced and formed this mesh that was to keep you out, but is now sort of keeping you protected. It's like, it's above chest high, and it is a solid wall. And you see this Dullahan standing there. He drops the whip, and it just disappears in a puff of smoke. You see him swing a leg over the horse and draw this enormous sword. He has no head, but you can see that he is looking directly at all of you. You've given up the wagon, but he is still coming. He starts to walk towards you, and there is like a sickening lurch as the brambles start to give way for him. He is walking directly towards you, slowly and with purpose.
Lug,
Yes.
how would you make it so that the woods are on our side again? Well, not again, but you know. Is there something nice we can do for the forest in the next 10 seconds?
I don't know, is there some sort of offering we could give it?
Make me a wisdom perception check.
All right. Better not be one of the kids. That is a 12.
Why is Michael crying?
Why is Michael crying?
He's standing there, and I mean, they're both crying.
Yeah.
But Lily's bawling, like tears rolling down her cheeks because she's scared. Michael is doing that sort of shoulders up by his ears,
Yeah.
snuffling, guilty sort of crying
Okay.
that a child.
What did you do? You can tell us. We just need to know what we're dealing with.
He's sort of slowly starts to unloop his backpack.
Right.
So he's sort of got this like satchel thing on his back, sort of unloops it and places it in front of him. He's like, I thought maybe it would do what we wanted, and it might keep us safe.
What is it?
In size, it looks at first like just a rotting cheese,
Okay.
until you sort of see an eyeball roll in the socket and a jaw starts like working. It is a severed head.
Wow.
It is alive.
Okay. Michael, you're into some weird stuff. Is this what, like, 10-year-olds are into these days, or whatever age you are?
Are 10-year-olds into skulls with like wiggling jaws and wiggling eyes? Hell yes.
Awesome.
It's like the slime.
Yeah.
Maybe they trade them in the playground.
Yeah, right.
Where did you find this? Was it in the carriage? Yeah, okay.
Wait, is this
it
the
back.
headless horseman's head?
Throw it over the edge.
How-
Give it back.
Wait. If we give this horseman its head back, what makes us think that that's going to be enough?
It
Maybe
looks
we
pretty angry at the moment.
I'm invisible. I'm not here.
could just make it more more powerful and just as vengeful.
There's two ways to do it, isn't there? There's give it back to the horseman, which could go well or could go badly. Or there's destroy the head, which could go well or could go badly.
Or we hold it hostage.
We make a deal.
We hold the head up by its gross hair. Or
He doesn't. The headless guy doesn't seem like he'll be reasoned with.
I vote. I like Willowfine's plan of holding it up. You've got, Willowfine, do some of your threaten holy magic at it.
Yeah. Kind of like conjure a sacred flame.
Can you talk to the heads? Does it talk?
Does it talk?
Does the headless horseman stop advancing when we appear to threaten the head?
Flat fire, like sort of.
He stops
Like so.
and sees that you've got the head. And then the hounds start howling. And he keeps walking
Okay.
towards you.
Okay.
He does not
Willowfine, we
see
shouldn't have done
a turn.
I mean, I can still torch it.
Robin, you feel an arm slip around your shoulders, and a voice just says in your ear, "You'll owe me a favour for this one."
I look around.
A man steps sort of past Robin and over to you, Willowfine, and just sort of takes the head from you. He's wearing like a jacket, and it's leather, but it's made of like lots of little patches of leather, like it's just been sewn up and re-sewn over the years. And he's wearing, like when they've got those hats and it's just like there's a disc of leather and they put it on their head and just sort of tie a thing around it. Sort of wearing that, he's sort of got like a scraggly beard.
It's him again, it's that fella.
Weird. He takes the head, flashes you a grin, and then he leaps into the air, like high above this wall of brambles. And he, for a second, seems to like land on the side of a tree, and then he kicks off, sailing over the head of this Dullahan and the hunting party. And he tears off across the moors. The Dullahan, it lets out this hiss of rage. It's like a gurgling shriek from severed
Bubbles
windpipe.
popping out the top of it.
Like a gurgling, horrible, scream. And it just, it turns to smoke and rematerializes on its horse, wrenches the mount around, and they tear off over the moors. And they are struggling to keep up with this guy on foot.
Wow.
Friend of yours.
It keeps bloody turning up. I don't know who he is.
Edie writes, it's dated 6 days ago. Arrived in Elmsteader. The tree is more wondrous than I could have imagined, even growing up hearing stories of its majesty. The people are worried. A drought is building, and the tree, which must pull up huge quantities of water through its roots, is weakening. Alden has offered to enchant the tree, slowing its decline while we try to work out the true cause. They assented. He makes his preparations now. Same day, says the journal, but later, Alden is wounded and we are cast out of Elmsteader to return on pain of death. Bera has bound the stump as well she can and has eased his pain with her magic, but she is worried. The wound looks infected with disease or curse I cannot fathom. Journal entry from 5 days ago. We press north through the woods, ill at ease. Our senses betray us. Sounds seem strange, now far, now distant, and we keep losing our way. Twice we have found ourselves having gone in a large circle, wasting hours of daylight. Alden swears he's seen things moving, following us through the trees. Hilda says it's his fever, but I am unsure. We're having to carry him now. Cole thinks it's the woman who's been toying with us, messing with our supplies, and disappearing just when we think we have her cornered. I've told him to put that from his mind, at least for now. Same day, says the journal, but later, Cole is missing. We got strung out trying to get around a huge patch of briar. When we tightened up again, he wasn't there. We searched for 2 hours, no trace. We press on, but we're leaving signs for him to follow should he find our trail again. He has the copestones. It gives me hope for his survival, but makes me worry about ours. Journal says 4 days ago, Bera is gone too. Her bedroll was empty this morning. All of her things were there. Journal entry from 3 days ago. I'm alone now. I was right behind Hilda, keeping my eyes fixed on her and Alden so we wouldn't be separated. My concentration wandered. It must have been this heat, the exhaustion. When I came back to myself, I was alone. I've stopped leaving signs now. I'll try and make for Hopton, though I'm not hopeful I'll make it that far. If this is the last the world hears of us, know that we tried. We wanted to help. So there's a woman.
Okay, womp womp, we suck. Everyone's dead. Is the vibe, yeah?
If that's it, yes, that's one way of looking at it.
Wisdom perception, please, Cressida.
Oh. Ooh. That is an 8.
Could you leave the room, please?
Whoa.
Oh, dang.
Morven and Willow, fine. Wisdom perception checks, please.
All right.
Don't whiff it, I guess.
17.
Okay. Cressida's gone. Morven.
Oh, wait, sorry, is that wisdom perception?
Yeah.
Curse. Well, it was 11 then.
Cressida's gone.
Oh.
Where's Cressida? We were tied together. Where's Cressida?
Is there just a loop of
Yes.
empty rope?
Yes, there is.
Cressida?
Who did this?
Can I look around the... Oh, I'll tell you what.
She might have finally just got sick of us.
I mean, she was complaining a lot.
Yeah, I mean...
It does make sense.
Maybe she just... This was it. The tying together thing was too much for her.
I never really got her, dedication to the cause. She was complaining a lot, so maybe she just decided to go back to the city.
I don't think so.
Or she's been disappeared by the woman.
Seems more like...
Oh yeah, they did mention sequential disappearances.
As a swarm keeper, I have something called Primeval Awareness, where I can expend 1 spell slot to sense aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, undead within 1 mile of us.
That's massive.
Yeah.
There's probably one of each of those within a mile of us.
Yeah. Well, but maybe that's part of the sort of downside of it, that like you don't know where your ping is coming from or whatever. Or 6 miles of favour terrain, which this is actually.
Yeah.
So within
6 miles.
6 miles.
It's a completely
centre of the
unrelated
Wyrdwood.
dragon 5 miles away.
Yeah.
The wood lights up, like absolutely lights up around you. I mean, this is the Wyrdwood. It's full of fae things.
Yeah.
But you do get... Okay, so you get a sense of... You've spent enough time around Cressida. You get a sense where you're like, Cressida is in that direction, is moving alarmingly fast, and has 3... They would count as fae creatures around her. And the second you sort of get a fix on the shape of those creatures, you're like, what? Because there's like somewhere between 30 and 50 of them in your very close vicinity.
We should form a defensive position now, or chase after Cressida as fast as we can, I suppose, are our 2 options, but we should do them fast.
Why? What have you seen?
Oh, I detail what I've seen.
Oh, right. Okay.
What would a defensive position involve?
Standing in a circle,
I mean, we're already standing in basically a circle.
facing outwards though.
Go our backs to the woods.
Everyone back
if
together.
we're facing backwards, we're not looking at each other, and if we get disappeared, we're not going to know who disappeared.
Yeah, apparently they can disappear us without us noticing, so...
When we're tied together.
Yeah.
Maybe
Let's
we
all-
should be in a circle facing inwards, but looking behind each other,
Maybe
so
we should
can
all
see each other.
hold hands
But also-
or something.
Maybe we should follow Cressida while I still know where she is.
I think we should get
Let's
after
follow
Cressida.
Cressida.
She might be in terrible danger.
Yeah.
Let's hold hands and skip.
Yeah, okay. Not really
don't
my
have to
vibe,
skip.
but yeah, fine.
Sure.
They're yelling
Let's
bro.
sprint pell-mell after Cressida.
Okay, just before you start running, you hear at the very edge of your hearing, again, almost like the sound around you has been deadened, something starts coming through. It is a melody, like someone is playing a tin whistle. Happen, I think you're a ranger, you've probably got the sharpest ears. Could you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Elves have the sharpest ears.
9.
Oh, dang, okay.
Well,
You lug Willowfine and Morven, you start tearing off in the direction that happen indicated. You get probably only about 10, 15 foot before you realise that Happen is not running alongside you. And you turn around.
Oh no.
And he's not there.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We're doing even worse than Team North.
There's straw on the floor, which she kicks aside and pulls up a trapdoor. And there is a staircase that descends down beneath this building into quite a large room. It is dark at the moment, but as you go down, there is like a charnel stink. Like it smells of iron, but in a kind of dried blood sort of way. And you remember I mentioned there was sort of like a sweetness to your robes from earlier.
Now there's a beefness to
You
our
can
own.
smell, well, it's the same smell. You pick it up. It's the cloying, like, stink of decay.
Is it just us and the Red Hood down here?
It is. She goes to like a sconce on the wall where there's a sort of you can barely see, but there's like a table. She sort of strikes a flint and lights a candle, and from there she lights a torch, which starts to sort of throw. It barely manages to illuminate this space, which you realise now is quite big and is lined with stone. It barely manages to illuminate it, but the walls are covered in sort of like arcane symbols. And there are stone plinths around the room. There are 5 of them. And as your eyes adjust to the darkness, you can see that sort of bent backwards unnaturally over each one of these is a body. Their mouths are sort of like open. It's like they died in a terrible, terrible amount of pain.
Lug looks around and counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And you sort of, again, as sort of the flicker of the torch throws bits of light on their faces, you realise that some of these people, you've seen them before.
Oh no, it's the adventuring group. Oh no.
North team.
One of them missing a hand. I check.
Yes. And we'll end it there, I think.
Oh no.
It's time for the rolling, right?